and in this tutorial I will show you how to make an autumn crown similar to this one. It's actually fairly straightforward once you get all of the supplies together and find a nice workspace to sit down and put it all together. I made mine specifically to match my moss green rag outfit. This is from Tickle Thy Fantasy, and I will link them in the description below as well. Thanks for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell next to it so you get updates when I post new videos. Follow me on social media at Katrinaosity, and if you enjoy this video, please click the like button. It really helps me out. For this project, you'll need some wrapped wire, foliage, I chose these oak leaves, felt, scissors, wire cutters, pro strength hot glue, a hot glue gun, and whatever addendums you want to add in to your crown. Begin by cutting your wrapped wire. You can find this wire in any area of a craft store where you have wreath making supplies, and you can cut anywhere from 3 to 6 pieces. Now I'm just beginning by braiding these, so I wrap the first 2 pieces around one another, then place the third one on top, and I like to wrap the wire around my finger so that it leaves a gap in the braid as I work. Now you'll want to cut your wires so that they wrap 1.5 times around your head, but of course, depending on how wide you make your braids, this could impact how far around your head it goes. So always cut a little bit extra just to be on the safe side. Then once you figure out exactly how big you need your crown to be by wrapping it around your head once you finish the braid, you can cut off the excess pieces. Then to close the gap, you'll want to start weaving in your other pieces of wrapped wire, starting at the apex of the curve of your braid. This way, the center of your new pieces that you're weaving in will be in the center of the gap in the back of the crown. You'll simply find a specific wire in the crown and then start weaving in this extra piece of wire to completely follow it around the crown, following the exact same wire all the way through so that you don't end up with any strange bulges in the crown. This is probably the most difficult part of the entire project. Once I had woven in 2 extra pieces, I really liked the way my crown looked, so I didn't bother weaving in a final 6th piece. Once I had wrapped those pieces all the way around to the portion where the crown closes in the back, I simply twisted the ends that were loose onto each other and then reinforced that area with my new pieces of wire. Once you have a solid ring of a crown, you're ready to add the felt. The felt is basically just to add more cushioning, so if you end up with a heavy crown, it's not going to be digging into your forehead where it might be touching skin. Cut a large pill shape and then load it up with hot glue and then press the crown into place, then curl it around the inside. This way you end up with quite a bit of padding on the inside of the crown and an outer surface that's easier to attach some nice foliage to. Once you've done that, cut a second strip to put on the inside of the crown, coat one side of it with hot glue, and then press it into place and you have a nice cushion for your forehead. Then you'll want to separate all of your foliage from the bundles that they came on so you can really assess exactly what you have and how many different color variations you have. If you have any little addendums that are on wrapped wire, I recommend that you separate those individual pieces so that it can expedite your process once you really get into your creative groove of putting everything together. And once that's done, you're ready to start putting pieces onto your crown. The part that's going to be positioned over your forehead, I think, is the trickiest part, so this is the part I like to do first. Start with some leaves and keep in mind that you're going to be crisscrossing them, but there will be a point where everything meets in the very center and you'll want something to mask that. I masked that point with this little miniature pomegranate, and since this pomegranate was on a wire, I made sure to encase that wire in a nice glob of hot glue, and then I covered up that glob of hot glue with more leaves. I started in the middle of the crown band and then started adding leaves gradually to the top, and I put a large dollop of hot glue where the stem ends, and then I would put a nice bead of hot glue all along the stem of the leaves. I added in a couple of acorns and then kept adding leaves until it felt just right. I would make sure that the hot glue had completely dried, and then I would try it on occasionally to make sure that I like the direction that the crown is going. You'll want to make sure you put some leaves up and over the top of the felt so that it doesn't peek through while you're wearing it. Then I took the larger pieces that I wanted and situated those on the sides of the crown so they're positioned somewhat above my ears where the weight can be easily distributed between the 2 sides and it's not going to create any uncomfortable pressure points on my forehead or on the back of my head. I chose this orange pomegranate and then this artichoke, and of course these are fake. You can choose something that's more symmetrical if you wanted both sides to be the same color or the same type of object, but I like mixing things up and making it a little bit asymmetrical as long as both of the sides are the same size. I tried to even out the colors by having an even distribution of my bright oranges, then dark colors and greens throughout the entire crown. Once I had put in those main features on either side, I tried to build up some smaller features around them so that it would gradually flow from larger to smaller objects and then back to just leaves towards the back of the crown. For small gaps between the big objects, I utilized these acorns, and they fit perfectly into those small spaces and closed up any areas where you might have seen some hot glue peeking through. And since it has an earthy look, nothing had to be absolutely perfect. And that is my finished crown. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more tutorials like this one, let me know in the comments below and be sure to click that like button, it really helps me out.